Very good morning and happy Easter. So with the Euro FX, it's done what I thought was going to happen. It's basically a slight reduction of those longs, 145,000 to 143,000. So a decline of longs, but we're still obviously fairly bullish because we're well above the zero line. But we have seen a reduction of those longs, which I thought was going to happen. If you remember, I put into Discord. That's what I thought was going to happen. So whether or not this is going to be a sustained move to the downside, we'll have to wait and see. We'd want to be seeing some technical breaks like down here, 126, and then probably be a sustained move to the downside. So keep an eye on a break here, and we could potentially come down to this diagonal here. If you remember, I don't know if you remember actually, you probably didn't see it, but I was saying that we could have like a channel break, and we certainly did. Can you see the highs? And we pumped really strong. So there's EuroFX. The dollar is strong and stable. We're above the zero line. Just positive and more positive. 141, 127. So the Euro USD will be interesting this week because of that positioning difference. Because he reduced, increased. Okay, but obviously we're not going to get a crossover for a long time, but it's looking like we might. It's showing like early signs of a potential crossover. So there's the crossover there when we had the Euro USD, and we're well below parity, if you remember, and it was a big old trap basically, and we bumped. Let's look at the yen. And oh right, okay, so we're below zero, and we're more negative. 57, 50. Yeah, we've increased those shorts, haven't we? 53 to 57. So slightly bearish on the yen. So that's that. So there isn't anything to be said. Just be aware that we are negative, and we're more negative than we were the week prior. Let's take the euro off. We'll put on the Australian dollar. Oz is up. Minus 27. Minus 38. So it's quite an increase on the Aussie. Obviously, we still need to see a move higher to confirm that the trend. I'd say now we were trending higher. Probably this could have been like a little fake out move potentially, and we might continue. So if the Aussie comes above zero, it'll be the first time in a long time it will have done that. So that will be really interesting. And it might be that we'll get the Aussie USD sell signal. When those two cross, okay. Aussie, now CAD. Let's have a look. Oh no, we do pound. We want to go in alphabetical order ideally. Oh, okay, so just, we're chopping. We are admittedly chopping, but we're more positive than we were. So 24, minus 24 to minus 14. So it's a fair, significant increase. And like I said, with the Aussie, if we continue, we'll be above the zero line. But do note that we created a head and shoulders here and an attempt here as well. So if we do overcome this, that's going to be really interesting. And then we're going to be quite bullish on cable. Because if we go above the zero line, we'll be very close to getting a crossover. So that's an interesting development. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on Friday. And do note that this data is now up to date. It's from the 4th of April. Okay, so we're all caught up now because we've had a lot of delay because we had there was a cyber attack at the CFTC website. So now we're fully caught up, and this is from Tuesday. All right, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with this on Friday, and then we'll we're about to trade off that. But there isn't anything to be traded with at the moment. There's no crossover. So let's take pound off. Look at CAD. Now CAD was falling, and it is still falling. We had a big dump, remember? The only trouble is the yen is down and CAD is down. So CAD yen isn't really a very good trade because we might get another crossover. All right, so ideally, if you're going to trade something, you need to trade something that's ascending versus descending. They're both descending. So there isn't anything to be traded there. Okay, so CAD is very interesting. They really have sold it. This is the banks and institutions. This is the net non-coms. Okay, so this is the the big fish. Euro done. Gold. Let's look at gold. Wow, what a pump! And wow, we're just quite bullish, aren't we, from the non-coms? They're really quite keen. China have bought a lot of gold as well, and they're hoarding it for some kind of event. So they really have bought a lot of gold. So it's possibly the big fish from the States and worldwide are probably watching what China are doing, and they're also buying gold as well. So it's quite bullish. And do note where we are with gold right now. We are, we're strong technically and sentimentally as well, because the retail guys are short gold, and I can't really blame them for selling it, because I was wary about buying it, because it looked like it overextended. So they'd look like they've sold it because we've overextended, but we can come up higher on gold, right? So be careful. Right, be careful if you're short, because this is strongly positive, and the retail guys, the dumb money in speech marks, are short. And so that's like quite a dangerous cocktail for trading gold if you're short. Okay, so be careful. We've got CPI and FOMC on Wednesday. Okay, so this is going to be a big mover for gold. Take gold off. And I think probably what happened with the Kiwi was just see sideways. Yeah, we had broken out. We're back within the range. So we're looking at that high and that low. And we're back between those parameters. So we're just chopping. No signal there. It looked like we were going to get NU buy, but we didn't get the crossover. So that's fine. And then lastly, Swiss franc. And then we'll wrap up. Oh, we'll take the Kiwi off. Just to show you can do permutations. You can choose any currency pair. If you want to see the analysis of. You don't have to use the USD. Let's take the Kiwi off. And we see the Swiss franc is a sideways. We're negative, but we're just sideways. And so there isn't anything to be said there. So hopefully it helps. Just some links. Patreon.com, COTDB. If you want to get access to this document, this Excel file, it will be this one, right? So this is the one that you need to subscribe to. You don't get the Excel file with the QDB Lite, but with the QDB Lite, you get access to the daily videos and the spreadsheet that I created. But if you want to go in a slightly upper tier, you can go to the daily bulletin, where you get the bulletin and the Excel file, which Krishnan has designed. And it is absolutely amazing. And this is like, you can play around with this. And it isn't just the net non-coms. You can look at the hedge funds and the commercials. Plus we've got a delta sheet as well. So it tells us what they've done, but in a summary format. So Krishnan has done that for us as well, which is really amazing. And just a reminder, before we wrap up, is Wednesday. We got this. And then we got this. So we won't have a trade of the day on Wednesday at all. We're going to avoid it completely because it's going to be an absolute roller coaster. But we'll try and get some trade setups out Monday and Tuesday. And it's possible we're going to have like a hangover on Thursday from the Wednesday. So it's just going to potentially be no trade of the days here or here. And we'll try and get something out for Friday, okay? So it's all a case of being careful, know in advance the risk events, and trading safely as well. So I'll speak to you guys soon.